Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me, because I'm about to tell you something that will change your life if you let it stop wasting your time. Time, my friends, is the most precious commodity you have. Once it's gone forever. You can't buy it back, you can't borrow it from someone, and you can't go back in time and fix what you didn't do. So why are you wasting it? Why are you allowing yourself to live a life full of excuses, distractions, and mediocrity? Let me make this clear: you're in charge of how you spend your time. Every second that you waste is a second that you'll never get back. Stop treating time like it's endless, because it's not. You need to understand the value of your time if you want to stop wasting your life. You have dreams, you have goals, but if you're sitting around waiting for the perfect time or hoping for things to change on their own, you're lying to yourself. Time doesn't wait for anyone. It moves forward with or without you, so you better get moving. Now, let me tell you something about comfort. Comfort is where dreams go to die. Nothing great comes from comfort. If you're comfortable, you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're dying. It's that simple. You're wasting your life by choosing comfort over challenge, by choosing safety over risk. Get out of your comfort zone. It's time to get uncomfortable. I know it's hard, I know it feels scary, but it's the only way to make something of yourself. Life doesn't care if you're comfortable. It will push you, challenge you, and make you face adversity. So get up, stop complaining, and make it happen. The world doesn't owe you anything. You owe it to yourself to stop wasting your life on mediocrity. And let's talk about responsibility. You need to take responsibility for your own life. Stop blaming your circumstances. Stop blaming the people around you. Stop blaming the government, your parents, or anyone else. You're the one who controls your life. You're the one who decides if you succeed or fail. If you're stuck in a rut, it's because of the decisions you've made. If you're not where you want to be, it's because of your actions or lack of actions. There's no one to blame but you. If you want change, you need to take responsibility. You need to stop waiting for the world to give you a break. The only way you're going to change your situation is if you decide to take action. And here's the thing: talk is cheap. You've been talking about your dreams, about your plans for far too long. Everybody talks, everybody has good intentions. But guess what? The world doesn't care about your good intentions. It cares about your results. So stop talking and start doing. Relentless action is what separates the winners from the losers. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, because that moment doesn't exist. Start now, start today, and keep moving forward. You're wasting your life if you're sitting around waiting for the right time to act. Lastly, stop settling for mediocrity. Too many people are content with living average lives. They settle for good enough, but let me tell you something: good enough is not enough. It's a trap. Mediocrity is the killer of greatness. If you're not striving for excellence, if you're not demanding the best from yourself every day, you are throwing your potential away. You were not put on this earth to be average. You were put here to do something remarkable, something extraordinary, something that changes the world. Stop being satisfied with anything less. Don't let life pass you by because you're too afraid to reach for more. Mediocrity is not your destiny. Excellence is. So let me give you this final piece of advice: wake up. Time is ticking. You've been given this one life, and you're wasting it if you don't step up and do something with it. The world doesn't care if you're comfortable. The world doesn't care if you've been through tough times. The world only cares about your results. Your future is in your hands, and it's time to take control of it. Stop wasting your life. Get uncomfortable. Take responsibility. Stop talking and start doing. And for the love of everything that is good, stop settling for anything less than greatness. You've got one shot at this. Make it count. Time, what is it really? It's the most valuable resource you have, and it's slipping through your fingers whether you realize it or not. Every second that passes is one you'll never get back. Time is not a renewable resource, and it doesn't care about your excuses. Time doesn't slow down for you, it doesn't pause for your bad day, and it doesn't stop for you to catch up. The truth is, time waits for no one. The moment you understand that, your entire life will change. Too many people live as if they have an unlimited supply of time. They waste it, they squander it, and they act as if there will always be more tomorrow. But let me tell you something, tomorrow is never guaranteed. You cannot afford to take time for granted. The most successful people in the world understand the value of time more than anything else. They understand that every minute counts and every hour is precious. They don't waste it on trivial things, they don't waste it on people who don't contribute to their growth, and they don't waste it on meaningless distractions. Time is the currency of your life, and once you start treating it like that, your approach to everything will shift. When you understand the value of time, you stop giving it away to things that don't matter. You stop spending it on excuses, on procrastination, or on waiting for the right moment that never comes. You take responsibility for how you use it. You become intentional about how you spend every hour, because you realize that each one is a building block to your future. Time is the one thing that once spent, you can't retrieve. It doesn't matter how much money you have, how much knowledge you've gained, or how many friends you have when time is gone. It's gone. So why would you waste it on things that don't serve you? The real power comes in being aware of the present moment. The power comes when you stop living in the past, regretting what you didn't do, or worrying about the future that hasn't even arrived. The only time that is truly yours is now. What you do in this moment will shape what happens next, and that's the essence of greatness, taking control of this moment. What are you doing with it? Are you sitting around waiting for change to come? Or are you taking action right now to move your life forward? Time is often taken for granted because we don't truly see how fleeting it is. But once you begin to recognize its value, your decisions will become sharper. You'll start to make choices that serve your purpose, your goals, and your future. You'll say no to distractions, to toxic relationships, and to things that aren't aligned with where you want to go. Why? Because you'll realize that every minute wasted is a minute you'll never get back. I want you to think about this for a second. What are you doing with your time today? What did you do with your time yesterday, and what are you going to do with your time tomorrow? Because every single one of those days, every one of those hours, every one of those minutes is a chance for you to build the life you want. Time is your greatest ally if you use it well, and it can be your greatest enemy if you don't. Time doesn't care about your potential, it just keeps moving forward. The question is, what will you do with the time you've been given? When you start seeing time as your most precious resource, it will shift your entire mindset. You won't waste another moment procrastinating. You won't waste another minute feeling sorry for yourself. Instead, you'll be focused, driven, and determined to make every moment count. You will start living with purpose. You will stop putting things off for tomorrow, because you'll realize that tomorrow is never promised. Time is a gift, and it's time for you to treat it that way. Remember, the clock is ticking. Every second is a gift. You have to decide how you're going to spend it. Are you going to let life pass you by, or are you going to take action and make something incredible happen? The choice is yours, but one thing is for certain: you can never get this time back. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you did something that scared you? When was the last time you looked fear in the eye and did it anyway? When was the last time you stepped outside your comfort zone and took a risk, a real risk, not one that was wrapped in a safety net or a cushion? Listen, I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, you have to stop living in that bubble of comfort that you've been hiding in. Comfort is your enemy. Comfort is the silent killer of potential. You want to grow? You want to accomplish something worth talking about? Then it's time to get uncomfortable. We all have this natural instinct to seek comfort. It's in our nature to gravitate toward what's familiar, toward what's easy, toward what feels safe. But that's exactly what's holding you back. Nothing extraordinary happens in the comfort zone. Nothing groundbreaking, nothing transformational, nothing that will change the trajectory of your life comes from staying exactly where you are. If you're not challenging yourself, if you're not pushing the limits of what you think is possible, then you are just going through the motions, living a life of mediocrity. Growth, real growth, happens when you do the things that scare you. Growth happens when you make decisions that challenge you. Growth happens when you force yourself into situations where you don't know all the answers, where you don't have all the resources, and where you feel overwhelmed. That's where the magic is. It's in the discomfort, the struggle, the uncertainty, the unknown. That's where you find out what you're really made of. That's where you find the strength, the courage, and the determination you didn't even know you had. The truth is, you can't become the person you were meant to be by staying in the same place. You can't become the person who is destined for greatness, who is destined to break barriers and accomplish things that seem impossible, if you're still clinging to what's comfortable, to what's easy, to what's familiar. If you're still in the same routine, living the same life, doing the same things, how do you expect anything to change? How do you expect to level up, to achieve your goals, if you're too afraid to step out of your comfort zone? You've got to stop waiting for the perfect moment because it doesn't exist. The perfect moment is a myth. The time will never be just right. The right time is now. You'll never feel completely ready. You'll never feel fully prepared, and that's okay. The key is to take action anyway. Stop waiting for everything to line up perfectly and make sense. Life doesn't work that way. You have to create your own opportunities. You have to make your own breaks. And to do that, you have to be willing to face the unknown and step into the uncomfortable. Look, the greatest things in life never came from staying in the safe zone. Think about the people you admire, the people who are doing incredible things in the world. Did they get to where they are by staying in their comfort zone? No, they took risks, they failed, they stumbled, they got knocked down, but they kept going, they kept pushing, kept striving, and they didn't let fear hold them back. They knew that if they wanted something big, they had to embrace the discomfort, face the fear, and do it anyway. Taking responsibility means recognizing that your actions have consequences, both good and bad. If you're in a job you hate, if you're in a relationship that's not serving you, if you're unhealthy and unhappy, it's time to look in the mirror and ask yourself, what did I do to get here? Stop waiting for the perfect circumstances, the right opportunity, or someone to come rescue you. You are responsible for getting yourself out of the hole you're in. If you want to change your life, you have to take full ownership of your decisions. And the power is in your hands to make different ones starting right now. But here's the thing. It's not enough to just acknowledge your mistakes or your current situation. We've all made mistakes. We've all taken the wrong path. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the ability to learn from those mistakes and move forward. Taking responsibility doesn't mean beating yourself up over past failures. It means understanding that the power to change, to rise above, and to become the person you were meant to be lies in your ability to take ownership of the future. You can't change what happened yesterday, but you can control what happens tomorrow. Every day is a new opportunity to choose a different path. Every single day is a chance to take full responsibility for what you do with your time, your energy, and your life. And this is where most people miss the mark. Taking responsibility is not a one-time thing, it's a daily practice. It's about showing up, even when it's hard. It's about staying committed, even when life gets tough. It's about taking accountability when things go wrong and not making excuses when you fall short. Excuses are the tools of the weak, and the moment you start making excuses, you give up your power to create change. The moment you stop pointing fingers and start taking responsibility for what you're doing, you unlock a level of personal power that will transform your life. Listen closely, because this is the part where everything changes for you. Commit to relentless action. It's easy to talk about what you want to do, easy to dream about the life you want to live, but that's not enough. Dreams without action are just fantasies. If you want to achieve something significant, if you want to make an impact, then you have to commit to action like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. I'm talking about relentless action. Not half-hearted, not inconsistent, but the kind of action that doesn't stop. You see, most people don't get what they want out of life because they're too busy trying to figure out how to take the perfect first step. They think they need all the right conditions, the right timing, the right resources. They wait for the stars to align, but let me tell you something, the stars will never align unless you start moving. And the longer you wait for things to be perfect, the further you drift from your goals. The truth is, perfection is an illusion. What matters is the willingness to act, to push forward even when things aren't perfect. Relentless action means you're willing to face challenges head on. It means you're not going to let fear or obstacles stop you. It's easy to look at the problems ahead and get discouraged, but the difference between the people who succeed and those who don't is simple. The ones who succeed keep going, no matter what. They don't let setbacks define them. They don't let failure crush their spirit. They use failure as a stepping stone, a lesson, a way to get better. Failure is a part of the journey. You have to embrace it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. And that's what relentless action is all about. Relentless action means you're not going to sit around waiting for motivation to strike. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline, commitment, and consistency, those are the things that keep you moving when motivation is nowhere to be found. Relentless action is about doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. It's about making progress one step at a time every single day, no matter how small those steps might seem. And here's something you need to understand: action breeds momentum. Once you start, once you commit to moving forward, even the smallest steps start to add up. You start building a snowball of progress, and that snowball picks up speed. But you'll never experience that momentum if you sit around waiting for something to change. The change begins with you, and it starts with your willingness to take the first step. Now, understand this commitment to relentless action is not about doing more for the sake of doing more. It's about doing the right things, the necessary things, with focus and intention. It's about prioritizing what moves you closer to your goals and cutting out distractions. It's about building habits that push you to be better every day. Success is not an event, it's a habit. Success is the result of consistent, purposeful action. You can't expect to make big changes with small efforts. You can't hope to achieve greatness with a lazy attitude. You have to want it, and you have to work for it relentlessly. Remember, the world doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care about your goals. It doesn't care about your potential. The world only cares about results, and results come from one thing: relentless action. You can sit around and complain about your circumstances, but those circumstances won't change unless you change them. You have the power to change your life, but only if you are willing to take action every single day, without excuse, without hesitation, and without giving up. Stop settling for mediocrity. Too many people are stuck in a cycle of accepting just enough. They think that because their lives aren't terrible, they've got it all figured out. They think because they're getting by, they don't need to push themselves further. But let me tell you something: mediocrity is a silent killer. It's the quiet enemy that keeps you from your potential, from your greatness. It's the enemy that whispers, "You're fine. You don't need to do more. You're okay." It convinces you to play it safe, to keep your head down, to avoid rocking the boat. Mediocrity is comfortable. That's why so many people fall into it. It doesn't challenge you. It doesn't push you. It doesn't demand your best. It lets you exist, but it never lets you thrive. It tells you that it's okay to coast, that just getting by is good enough. But you were not born to just get by. You were born to do something extraordinary. You were born to make a difference. And you will never make that difference if you're content with being average. It's not enough to just exist in this world. It's not enough to just float through life without reaching for something greater. You have the potential to create, to achieve, to make an impact, but you're letting mediocrity steal it from you. I think about it every time you choose to settle. Every time you choose the path of least resistance, you're telling yourself that you're not worthy of something better. You're telling yourself that you don't deserve greatness. You're telling yourself that you're okay with being less than what you're capable of. But you are capable of so much more. You have a power inside of you that's waiting to be unleashed. That hunger, that drive, it's there. But you have to make the choice to stop settling for mediocrity and start demanding more from yourself. If you don't, you will wake up one day years down the line and wonder where the time went. You'll wonder what happened to your dreams, your ambitions, your passion. You'll wonder why you didn't push harder, why you didn't go farther, why you didn't fight for what you deserve. Don't let that happen. Don't let yourself wake up with regret. The moment you stop settling for mediocrity is the moment you start living a life of significance. The truth is, mediocrity is a choice. It's a choice you make every day when you decide that your current situation is good enough, when you decide that pushing for something better isn't worth the struggle. But understand this, if you choose mediocrity, you're choosing to remain small. You're choosing to stay comfortable, to stay safe, to never test your limits. And the problem with that is that your potential is limitless. You were created to be great, to rise above, to accomplish things that no one thought possible. But greatness doesn't come from staying where you are. It comes from breaking through, pushing past your limits, and refusing to accept anything less than your best. There's a saying that goes, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. And that's exactly what mediocrity is. It's doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. It's living a life of repetition, a life of comfort, a life of good enough, but good enough is not enough. If you want to create something extraordinary, if you want to achieve greatness, you have to stop doing the same old thing and start doing what others won't. You have to start pushing yourself in ways you never thought possible. You have to step into the unknown, take risks, and commit to becoming the best version of yourself. Mediocrity keeps you stuck. It keeps you from growing, from evolving, from reaching your full potential. But there is no growth in mediocrity. There's no progress, no advancement, no elevation. You can't reach the top of the mountain if you're content staying in the valley. You can't become a champion if you're okay with being average. The people who rise above, who achieve great things, who leave a legacy, are the ones who refuse to settle for mediocrity. They are the ones who push through the pain, who keep moving forward even when things get tough. They are the ones who look at what they've accomplished and say, I can do better. I will do better. The moment you make that decision, the moment you decide to step into your greatness, everything changes. The doors of opportunity open. The challenges become stepping stones. The hard work becomes your fuel. And you will find that the life you've always dreamed of is within reach. But it starts with you. It starts with you refusing to accept anything less than your best. So stop settling. Start striving. Start reaching. And never, ever stop pushing for the greatness that's inside you. Now let me leave you with this. Your life is in your hands. The future you're dreaming of, the success you want, the legacy you want to build, it all starts with one decision. The decision to stop settling for mediocrity and start demanding greatness. You can't afford to wait for someone else to push you, for someone else to believe in you, for someone else to make you believe you're capable of more. You have everything you need inside you right now to make that leap. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. The road to greatness is hard, it's filled with obstacles, it's filled with sweat, blood, and tears, but it's worth it. Every single step you take out of your comfort zone, every moment you push past your limits, brings you closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. Stop wasting time with mediocrity. It will never give you the life you truly deserve. You have the power to change your story, to rewrite your future, to create the life that others only dream about. So today, make that decision. Refuse to settle. Commit to being the best version of yourself. Step into the greatness that's waiting for you. It's time to rise up and give the world everything you've got. Go out there and take what's yours, because you were born for more than mediocrity.